It's hard not to turn on the television or walk past a magazine stand without seeing something about today's latest trend. Tiny homes, tiny living, small houses, living with a smaller footprint, sustainable living, etc., etc. You get the idea. This may drive some people crazy, and I'm not normally a trend follower, but I am looking forward to the day when I will have my own version of a tiny home. So when I came across this little house, I had to just stop and find out more. It turns out that this little cabin, called the O'Farrell House, was built in 1863 and was the first home to be built in the Boise area by Irish immigrant John O'Farrell. Now, when O'Farrell built this home for his family, he wasn't concerned about living small or having a smaller footprint. His motivation was to get a roof over the head of his family and protect them from weather and from attacks by Indians. I can't even imagine O'Farrell, his wife, and their 5 children fitting into this 200 square foot room. But they did. I wonder how many people today would see tiny living in a glamorous light if they had to crowd so many people into so little space. And yet, unlike today, O'Farrell's goal was to live bigger, and eventually he moved his family into a much larger brick house. It made me think about however much things change, they tend to stay the same. Eventually, the tiny house fad will fade, and people will want bigger houses again. Realizing this, I take a sort of comfort knowing that the seasons and cycle of generations will always continue to take on familiar patterns.